Hi everyone, it's Sandy Smith-Lavin. This is another edition of Brain Food for Accounting Leaders. We are going to be talking about mind reading today, which is a form of resilience. Actually, when you learn to avoid it, it's a form of resilience. So mind reading is if you make an assumption about what another person is thinking, that's cool, but what if it's wrong? That's where you get into some upset and some problems. So give you an example of this. Mike is a client, and you worked really hard on the report. You just hand it to him, and then he just takes 10 seconds to look at it, grunts, and he leaves, all right? And you're completely crushed because you're hoping for like some great feedback and all sorts of stuff with that. So you make an assumption, you read his mind, that he must be really unhappy with what you did. Well, here's the deal. Mike was really stressed, right? Maybe Mike was trying to pick up his sick kid or something. Maybe he was getting pressure from his boss. He may not be unhappy with you at all. He may just be really stressed for time. So mind reading is something you kind of want to avoid, and what happens is our brain kind of tricks us into it. Our brain loves to take shortcuts, and one shortcut is to try to anticipate things from another person. But the thing is, we never can be in another person's head, and this is a habit we really need to break. So the best way to avoid mind reading is to just be a blank slate and to not try to make any kind of interpretation of how Mike feels. So if you're really curious, you can ask Mike, and then you won't have to mind read. You'll get at least some kind of answer that will be better than a wrong assumption on the mind reading. So here's a couple antidotes to mind reading. Instead of mind reading and making assumptions, think that nothing is good or bad until it's verbalized, and then ask if you really want to know, rather than make stuff up about what a person's feeling and then you end up suffering. So your action steps around this, and when you conquer this, you're going to be able to be more resilient. You're going to be able to bounce back better. And you can't control what other people think about you anyway, so this is a good one to try to kind of look and see if you're doing it and then break that habit. So be aware of how often you might be doing this, and if there are particular people that you might mind read more than others, definitely spouses fall into this category. Once you do that, you can catch yourself, and then you can put a new habit in place and maybe make you a little bit happier, a little bit less stressed, and a little bit worried about things that you are never going to come true. All right, we'll see you next week.